President Trump went to the Capitol, urging them to approve what he calls one big, beautiful budget bill to fund his agenda and extend the 2017 tax cuts.
This bill will pass out of Rules Committee. Now, will it pass on the floor is another question.
GOP Congressman Ralph Norman tells Fox Business one resolved issue is SALT, the cap on state and local tax deductions for income tax returns that blue state Republicans demand be lifted from $10,000 now.
You know, they raised it to $40,000, and it's got a cost that's, as of now, has not been paid for.
Now, some Republicans keep pushing for more spending cuts in the bill. Democrats warn they'll slash key programs for taking health coverage and food assistance from some Americans. The bill would also fund President Trump's new defense system.
Once fully operational, President Trump says the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles fired from around the world or launched from space.
It's a pretty evil world out there, so this is something that goes a long way toward the survival of this great country.
He says the full project will total $175 billion and be operational in about 3 years.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, where President Trump will meet today with South Africa's president, and it could get tense. The U.S. has canceled aid to South Africa, expelled its ambassador, and then flew white minority South African refugees to the U.S., which led to this back and forth at a hearing yesterday between Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Democratic Senator Tim Kaine.
You don't like the fact that they're white, and that's why they're coming.
Say that would be unacceptable.
Well, no,
that
I would say that the United States,
a very easy thing.
The United
to say.
States has a right to pick and choose who they allow into the United States,
even based on the color of somebody's skin.
No one's. You're the one that's talking about the color of their skin, not me. These are people whose farms were being burned down and they were killed because of the color of their skin.
Rubio has another hearing in the House today. Another escapee captured in Louisiana after Friday's jailbreak, but the manhunt continues for 5 more prisoners still on the run. America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
2 guys who took part in the 2021 Capitol riot, then had charges dropped when President Trump returned to the White House, are in trouble again. Zachary Jordan, who got a pardon after an 8-year sentence for his actions in the riot, arrested in Virginia on burglary charges, accused of breaking into a home outside Richmond. The other rioter has been found guilty of another crime.
Taylor Toronto convicted of making a hoax bomb threat to a government building and illegally possessing guns and ammunition. The Navy veteran from Washington State who had his Capitol riot case dismissed by the Trump administration was arrested near former President Barack Obama's Washington, D.C. home in June of 2023. Investigators say he was found with 2 guns, roughly 500 rounds of ammunition, and a machete in his van. Prosecutors say he was live streaming, making threatening statements about Democrats, including the former president, and detailing an ominous, threatening plan to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, part of the U.S. Department of Commerce. Defense attorneys had argued he had no bomb-making materials and wasn't near the institute. Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
There is a new vacancy on death row in Texas.
49-year-old Matthew Johnson received a lethal injection at the state penitentiary in Huntsville. He had doused 76-year-old gas station clerk Nancy Harris with lighter fluid and then set her ablaze during a robbery in Garland, Texas. Shortly before his demise, Johnson asked for forgiveness from the Harris family and apologized to his wife and children for what he did. Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stocks could fall even more today. Dow futures down more than 300 points. In the NBA playoffs, a blowout to start the Western Conference Finals.
Foul, bucket, counted, and one.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the Oklahoma City Thunder, scoring 31 points in a 114-88 rout of the Minnesota Timberwolves on ESPN. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news.
U Board of Trustees discussing the possibility of purchasing a Wi-Fi system for Memorial Stadium. The $10 million project would work to improve the fan experience by giving internet access to people throughout the venue and the tailgating area in Grange Grove. Willard Airport preparing for the worst-case scenario, a plane crash. Their emergency preparedness exercise isn't a new event, but it keeps response tactics fresh for the first responders who would be on the scene if a plane did crash. The FAA requires Willard Airport to carry out this exercise every 3 years. Around 50 volunteers play the victims in the exercise. Few shelves at the Champaign County Humane Society full again after weekend donations, but employees know they'll continue to need more so they can help more pet owners in the county. The Community Pet Food Pantry, available for those who have a cat or a dog, but temporarily can't afford food for them. A big thanks to all who volunteer and help out. You're locally up to date. From the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom, I'm Jim Miller.
Well, good morning. It's Wednesday, May 21. My son Benjamin went to Willard yesterday and sat there for 7 hours and never did fly anywhere. But that's what happens.
Why does that happen to Benjamin?
Well, no, it's just when you travel a lot, that's kind of what happens. I'm not sure I have Solier today.
Okay.
I think the thing is, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I couldn't go anywhere. But when you see red on radar, do you want to fly in that? Mr. Solier.
Yes,
So
sir.
my
You make it through okay?
Yeah, my son was at Willard for 7 hours. They didn't fly anywhere because the
Right.
red on radar in Chicago.
True.
You can't fly.
Right.
I've flown in the red, and I wish we hadn't.
You don't want to do that.
No. Anyway, it was a long day
It's
yesterday.
red for a purpose.
Yeah, well, it was red, and so I looked in Chicago. We supposed to fly to Chicago today. Just got on a plane. I think they just took off for Dallas. That's a better direction, I think, isn't it? Headed south.
This is what, for today you're speaking of?
Yeah, I think the wheels just went up.
There's some shower activity, but all the instability, if you will, is off east, and Dallas itself ought to be in relatively good order for the day today.
Boy, how long did Channel 3 go live?
Right.
They were on there. Now, this is just human nature, but when you're in a car driving around, you kind of hope you see something, I guess. It's a bungee jumping kind of a thing, I would think. Gets motivated, and then if you don't, is it disappointing? And then it's weird because you shouldn't be disappointed, but then you're out there. Show me something.
Yeah.
There's rotation. Rotation.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
I think
first of
that's
all,
rotation.
I wouldn't be in a car like that. I wouldn't do it.
Tell that to folks at Armstrong and Paxton and Collison, for example.
Yeah,
It
was pretty nasty for a while. What's the rain total for Champaign County? Do we know?
The rain total for Champaign County, I know. We had those 1 inch rains on the overnight hours prior to that, and so if let's see if we've got the new data in here from the overnight hours. They take the observation at 7 o'clock, and let's see. I can go find it here quicker and faster. This is what has been transpiring in the National Weather Service arrangement of data these days and everything. In any event, 103 yesterday, and on top of that, they just had 28 hundredths of an inch yesterday from that storm itself. Now, there are other folks that had probably 3 and 4 times that, but at least over in Savoy, another 28 hundredths of an inch. So that would have put 131 or so on the gauge for a 24-hour total there.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't think we're done, right?
No. And you know what? Also another, and that comes in, I think, after 8 o'clock. They're a little bit delayed over the water survey over in Havana. They also take observations. We'll see what have transpired there. But everyone ought to be well watered down, I'm sure, by now, minus the severe end of things.
Well, let's check it. Meteorologist Greg Solier brought to you this morning by Carl.
Carl reminds you, do you have an emergency plan? The critical emergency that might arise, your primary care provider can talk to you about advanced care planning and all those services offered as you investigate at carl.org.
Okay, sir. Meteorologist Greg Solier with a picture of what to expect for the next day or so.
Yeah, and even in the midst of that circulation from yesterday, obviously we had the tornadic activity of the wind, but there were some big 1 and 2 inch diameter size hail, and some of our ag friends over there in Danville reporting back this way that there are a lot of folks that are in structural issues and crops that have been kind of sheared off because of those 1 to 2 inch 2-inch hailstones, for example, around Fisher yesterday. So that's kind of part and parcel of what you get when you get those severe things going under the right circumstances. In any event, 58 on a quieter morning over at Willard and Savoy, 57 at Rantoul. Showers are up to the north of us, running from about Milford, he tries to say, and Watseka, northern end of Ford County, back west-northwest. Those will augur on southward as the morning progresses into the afternoon. And an afternoon temperature for the day. Cold. We're going to pretty much hold at 58, 59. We should be 74 this time of the year, so we're going to lose soil warmth. West wind 15 to 25 and gusty. Tonight, lingering shower this evening, 47. Another cold day tomorrow at 60, with maybe a shower in the morning and some sprinkles in the afternoon. We'll awaken with some patchy fog Friday morning, a heavy dew, a partly cloudy, cool day at 67, upper 60s Saturday. Have plans B and C now in mind for Sunday and Monday, including at the Brickyard. There may be some rain delays with a few showers breaking out there as the race progresses. 67 on Sunday, 65 Monday. We inch close to 70 in drier weather Tuesday and Wednesday next week. For Steve J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
All right, well done, sir. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love getting Greg Solier's weather forecast so darned accurate.
That's right.
He's all over it, and I'm looking at these temperatures as he just mentioned. Well, I got the vest in the car. I generally wear a vest.
Yes,
Don't generally
you do.
wear a coat.
I've seen some comments about that. The people that watch the show, Stevie Jay FM on X.
We're thrilled, but we
wear the same thing a lot.
People are watching that.
I know.
I wear the black vest every day. Is that wrong? It's like I don't have.
It just appears that you don't have any clothes. You just wear the same thing every day because you have the black vest.
Well, I would assure you that I change shirts. Okay, I do, and we do have it's a thing called a washer and dryer. We do have those too.
Yes,
so
I know.
I pretty much can assure you my clothes are clean. But thank you for being so observant. But don't people have winter coats? I don't have 12 winter coats. I just wear a black vest.
Mainly do the vest.
Yeah, and I wash it. Isn't that okay?
That's great.
I don't get it. I don't care.
Well, and, we're out early in the morning, so it's a lot cooler. And then, you take it off.
Yeah.
You just put it in the seat next to you here in the studio.
Yeah.
All good. But
Yeah.
I've had people say before, it used to be that you'd wear the stocking hat under your...
Well, I'll wear that. You know what I do?
In the winter.
I do stuff when I'm cold. And I don't really think about the camera because I don't think... First of all, may I just be very candid? Why do we? Exactly what we would do. We've been streaming because I guess it's like, well, everybody's doing that.
Right.
But why do you watch?
Actually, a lot of people just might tune in on X and then
see what I'm wearing.
No.
Wait a minute. So
No.
I could get a designer, and
because they're able to get that on their phone very easily.
He's wearing Calvin Klein today. Can I get a free?
And then they set the phone down next to them, and it's instead of having a regular radio, they just listen on their phone.
Yeah, I do that.
Right.
I heard the drive on my phone yesterday.
And it could be in those opening moments that they notice what you're wearing.
But to comment on it, I'm flattered. I'm flattered that
There was a time when you wore the stocking cap so much in the winter.
I was cold.
At the beginning of our show.
I was cold, dude.
I remember, I think it was Larry Thronberg in Tolono, my old softball coach right around the corner of me in my east side of Tolono was saying, how cold is it in those studios? And when we talked about David Letterman having the studios very cold.
Well, the temperatures are pretty normal. It's my age. When you get older, older people get cold easier.
It warmer.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm honored, I'm flattered, and I'm amazed that anybody cares what I wear. But that's great. Thank you. I will continue to reflect on that for a good 10 seconds when I get dressed.
Okay.
I don't wear the same shirt every day. It may look like it, but they're kind of the same type of shirt. But I don't wear the same shirt every day. Anyway. Okay, good morning. I'm Stevie J. There's Diane Ducey. She's got sports headlines.
Omaha, Nebraska hosting Illinois baseball, number 11 seed at 30-22 on the season, opening the Big Ten tournament with a dramatic 6-5 win in extra innings over number 7 Michigan, 33-32 today. Actually, this was posted yesterday at Charles Schwab Field. For the second straight game, Jacob Schroeder got a go-ahead home run in extra innings, this time providing the game-winning shot. So I just wanted to read that word for word to make sure I got it all right.
Satisfying anytime you beat Michigan. I mean, think about it. We beat Michigan in football last year. We beat them again in basketball badly up there. We pounded them. Beat them in baseball and knock them out of the Big Ten.
Heck yeah.
Let's
Take
go.
that, Wolverines.
Yeah. Hey, that's great news.
Now we've got UCLA at 10 a.m. for the first pitch.
10 or 11? 10?
10.
Okay.
10 Central Time.
Okay.
And the victor of the contest will be in Pool B to advance to the single elimination semifinal
Didn't
round.
UCLA win the conference? And didn't they come to Champaign sweep me last weekend?
Yeah.
And don't they have their number one pitcher going today? Because they didn't play yesterday.
They're a 2 seed.
Yeah, they're 2 seed. So we are big dogs today.
Right.
But it's one now. One game. Let's go.
So I kind of bumped our lead because the Motor City Kitties came out on top. And
Best team in baseball beat the Cardinals barely. They
5-4.
And they got a run in the ninth to do it.
Okay.
It was a really good game.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals dropped a one-run game to the Tigers, 5-4. But Ricky, they were down 4-0 in the early innings.
And they were able to get to Tarek Skubal, which no one can get to. He's the game's best pitcher. The lefty was a Cy Young Award winner last year. The Cardinals got some runs off of Nolan Arenado with a 2-run home run. Arenado had 3 really good at-bats in the game. That's promising. And the Cardinals battled back again. That's promising. Unfortunately, Kyle Leahy gave up a run late. As good as he is, he showed he's human, and the Cardinals drop a 5-4 game.
On a relief of Eric Fetty, Steven Matz kept the Cardinals in the game.
Matz was terrific. Fetty wasn't great, but he gave the Cardinals a chance, but Matz was really good.
The Cardinals go for the series win today behind Andre Palante. We're on the air at 11:20 this morning. At 12:05, Ricky has the lineups, and I'll bring you the first pitch around 12:15.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
Cubs beat up on the Marlins 14-1.
Yep. I said 9 games ago, Cubs would win 7 or 8 out of 9, and right now they are. If they win today, they'll be 8 out of 9.
Okay.
Take it back. 7 out of 9. If they win today, they'll be 7 out of 9.
So 12:10 start over on US 105.9. So all our teams are kind of doing a day game thing today.
Getaway day.
That's right. And Chicago White Sox took down the Mariners 1-0, and that was Illini Day yesterday on the south side of Chicago. Oklahoma City over Minnesota 114-88. On the Western Conference Finals, Eastern Conference Finals, with the Pacers in action against the New York Knicks tonight. Yesterday, Atlanta narrowly beat in WNBA action the Indiana Fever 91-90. Caitlin had 27 points and 11 assists.
Yeah.
Still a little bit stirring up about what happened over the weekend with Angel Reese, Chicago Sky, and, discrimination and
well, for some of the fans yelling stuff.
I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to control. We hope people don't do that stuff, but I'm sure it's pretty feisty. Our weather this morning brought to you by Busey for over 155 years. Member FDIC.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Florida, Champaign and Benefit Vicinity. Hopefully you made it through A-OK. And that barrage of severe weather, including large hail, damaging wind, and even a couple of twisters noted. Yeah, we were in that slight risk area as expected. Otherwise, it's a blustery, chilly, almost late winter, early spring feel currently. And later on today, temperatures holding in the upper 50s with some patchy fog around, giving way to a couple of rain showers at times as the day wears on. That northwest west wind 15 to 25 miles per hour through tonight. We'll bottom out with a shower threat this evening, still at 47. Tomorrow, breezy, cool, a shower in spots in the morning, maybe a sprinkle in the afternoon, the high near 60 on a northwest wind. Clouds break late tomorrow night, low down to 43. Some patchy fog early Friday, partly cloudy, not bad, 67. Shower chances back in late Saturday, then more widespread rains for Sunday and the holiday on Monday, including over the Brickyard. Highs of about 67 for the day Saturday, mid-60s Sunday and Monday, back to the upper 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. First TVJ Broadcasting, I'm Beetlejuice, Greg Solgay.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank. Building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
I'm Charles Payne, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Target sales slumped in its recent quarter. Both earnings and revenue were disappointing. It's lowering expectations for the year. CEO Brian Cornell says a series of factors cut into its sales: tariff uncertainty, lower consumer sentiment, weak demand for discretionary items, and the boycotts after the company rolled back its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. It's not all disappointing. There was a 36% increase in same-day delivery through its Target Circle 360 service, and shrink losses to shoplifting declined in the quarter. It's a different story at Lowe's. Earnings topped expectations, though sales declined. Lowe's was expected to see sales slip because of severe weather in recent months. It's being helped by demand from home improvement professionals. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
Nate Evans of the Nate Evans Group with eXp Realty talking to us in studio. Maybe you have an aging parent who's been in this property for a long time, but they need something that's more reasonable for that chapter of life. Reaching out to you makes sense, and talking about options for the future.
Yeah, the biggest shortage we continue to find is the downsizing opportunities into ranch-style homes in some of our more rural communities. Over the last 2 years, we've been trying to hit those challenges and find solutions for them. So we've been looking at all of our small outlying communities, St. Joe, Tolono, Rantoul, Paxton, Fisher, and we're looking at different ways and opportunities in these more rural, smaller communities to give them the ability to downsize their house without sacrificing the luxuries that they're used to.
It's Nate Evans at 217-239-7113. Do an online search to Nate Evans Group and start packing.
Sell your home with the Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to thenateevansgroup.com.
Urbana's Market at the Square has been cultivating a vibrant scene in CU since 1979. Get to know your farmers, bringing locally harvested honey, crafts, jewelry, art, fresh cut flowers, plus produce including fresh leafy greens and root vegetables, fresh baked treats, and a wide selection of proteins. Going on now, every Saturday, 7 a.m. till noon, rain or shine at Illinois and Vine, it's Urbana Market at the Square. Find Urbana Market on Facebook or urbanamarket.org. At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Alrighty, 723. ESPN 93.5. All right, we have another Stever today. The two people that won the Dick Van Dyke are pretty stoked. Some guy's buying a refrigerator, the other guy's buying a washer machine, and I gave him $500.
Nice.
Today I'm giving a couple of people another $500. This one's like, can you say no-brainer? Lance Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. I'm going to have them inspect all your stuff every single darn year, and I'll do it for a whole year this time. So in other words, whatever you need, you might need your AC tuned up before air conditioning season, which is coming up soon, if not already. And then they'll check your plumbing. Lance will take a scope of your underground stuff to make sure all that's clear and no problems coming. They'll do the furnace. They'll do the sump pump, hot water heaters.
Sump pump yesterday.
Well, there was that.
I'm just thinking of my own house.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Orange Comfort Club.
Orange Comfort Club, which is only, what, $39.49 a month?
49.
40, is that $49 a month?
Yep.
All right,
hold it up.
There's a blue Comfort Club and an orange Comfort Club. We're going all the way with the orange. Now, it's $49 a month, so if you want to get this yourself, you're welcome to do it. Why not? It's $49 a month, and they'll call you, set it all up, and you can rest assured all your stuff works.
Sorry, $39.95 a month.
That's even cheaper.
I was just noticing the dispatch fee and 7 days a week and no emergency dispatch fees and, all these things that you save on if you are a monthly Orange Comfort Club member.
I think the blue must be $29.95.
It is.
So that's really cheap.
And so landsinc.com, you click on the Lands Comfort family to find out all the details about what you get.
All right, so if you got a guy, that's fine. But if you don't and you want Lands to take care of you for 12 months, I'll pay all 12 months. What am I crazy? $40 a month is $480. 12 times 4.
That's really a good deal.
Okay, nobody wants it. Diane, you can have one. I'll have
Yes.
one. Yes. So text in Lands. Maybe I should give a wrong number. 217-359-2255. Just kidding. So if you would like this for a year.
And the scheduled plumbing and HVAC precision maintenance is one for spring, one for fall.
Yeah,
the annual sewer line camera inspection, little scared about that with Gene Ducey making our home in the early 1950s when Mom and Dad got married. And, it was kind of renegade style back then and a little worried about what they'd find.
Well,
how much is that going to be?
I guess the question there was, would you like a surprise?
Right, true.
Or would you like to know that we have an issue, but we don't have to do it today?
Right.
You probably want to figure that one out.
Kick the can down the road.
It's kind of like don't go to the dentist because they might find something.
I know.
Don't go to the doctor because they might find something. Anyway, if you would like this Orange Comfort Club, Stevie J pays for 12 months. It's crazy, I know. Text in LANZ, and you just might get it. That's the one with Troy's on the back of the truck.
Yeah, very colorful.
I have a tick because I wave at it. It's really
Yes.
strange. I swear he waves back. It's really weird. 217-359-2255. Text in Lands for a very special Stever offer today. Okay. We got Ed Martin. I think Brother Johnny's in the house, and I'm still can't get over the 62 for the high today with rain.
I know.
So 59. Ladies and gentlemen, at the top of the show, Diane has said she's actually had a comment or more than one comment on my clothes.
Well, I mean,
the same person.
It's been over the year or two. I mean, the one where you wore the stocking cap, I think that's when we were back at the Pines.
Okay, should I get a better stocking cap? Or, my head was cold. I lost my afro. Okay, it hurts me still. I miss my afro. Best afro in the county.
When the kids come home, they say we're running the house too hot too. And
what do you set your thermometer?
It might be like 70.
Yeah, that's not unreasonable,
right?
The people that set it at 64 and gut it out, we pump it. We're probably 68, 70.
Mm-hmm.
In the summer, it's probably 72, 73. Maybe 68 upstairs. Anyway, 217-359-2255. You can text about anything, but if you want the Lands deal, LANZ, to have a chance to win Orange Comfort Club for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. I know. Ed Martin, his official new title coming up. Brother Johnny as well. We'll get hold of Ed next. It is ESPN 93.5. It is Wednesday morning, and we'll be right back.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
The world is full of famous piles. Stonehenge, a majestic pile of rocks. The Great Pyramids, the Great Wall of China, a truly impressive pile of bricks. And then there's your pile, maybe not so famous. 2 Men in a Junk Truck can remove those not so famous piles of stuff you've collected. 2 Men in a Junk Truck, proudly part of the 2 Men in a Truck family, making space for what matters most. Schedule your pickup at 2meninajuncktruck.com. Use code RADIO25 to save $25 on your next junk removal service.
Are you looking to get the most from your money? If not, you should be. A free rewards checking account from Fisher National Bank gives you access to their Reward Saver, which earns you an exceptional annual percentage yield and increases your earnings potential. There's no monthly service fees or minimum balance required. If you're ready to make the most of your money, switch to Rewards Checking and Rewards Saver from Fisher National. See the monthly requirements at any branch or FisherNational.com. Fisher National Bank, exceptional communities, exceptional people, member FDIC.
This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is not a one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is that we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or online at ProvidentFinancialGroupLLC.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The House Rules Committee has been working since 1 a.m. at the Capitol on the Republicans' big tax and spending cut bill. Virginia Republican Morgan Griffith heard President Trump's in-person pitch yesterday and tells Fox,
I think he did change a few votes, but not all of them. And so we're still working, the Speaker is still working behind the scenes to get all the votes lined up.
The Congressional Budget Office says the bill, without changes, adds $3.8 trillion to the debt through 2034. The Justice Department's opened an investigation into former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Cuomo is being investigated for statements he made to lawmakers who were looking into his management of the COVID-19 pandemic while the virus was spreading through nursing homes. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, a Republican, recommended that Cuomo, a Democrat, be charged with lying in his referral to the Justice Department.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers in New York, where Cuomo's running for mayor. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Gibson City swimming pool opened a bit later than previously announced. The pool opens up in early June, as originally planned. Pool management says the pool will be open as soon as 5 certified lifeguards are available to staff it. On May 31st, a lifeguard recertification class going to be held at the YMCA in Champaign. Thanks to the Illinois New Stores and Food Deserts Grant Program, Ward 3 of Urbana can look forward to a new grocery store. The grant provides over $2 million, all of which will be used to support the development of the new store. Angela Bradley, the recipient of the award and CEO of Heartstrong Grocery, states Ward 3 of Urbana has been working for the past 7 years to establish a grocery store. A few shelves at the Champaign County Humane Society full again after weekend donations, but employees know they'll continue to need more so they can help more pet owners in the county. The Community Pet Food Pantry available for those who have a cat or a dog but temporarily can't afford food for them. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
All right, your weather brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
Well, the big headline, of course, is the pool is opening on Memorial Day holiday weekend. But the Candlelight Serenade at the Lake House is on Saturday night, too. Find out more at urbanaparks.org.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois. Champaign Urbana vicinity, rough one yesterday, but it pretty much was expected in that slight risk area. But boy, those storms were ferocious in some areas. 1 to 2 inch diameter hail, high wind, and not to mention a number of funnel clouds and tornadic activity reaching the ground in a couple of areas. In any event, much quieter today, but a cold feel with that west-northwesterly wind. Temperatures hold upper 50s to around 60 degrees with a couple of rain showers as the day wears on. For tonight, a shower this evening, breezy, cooler down to 47. Tomorrow, clouds stick around. Maybe a rain shower in the morning and a sprinkle for the afternoon at highs around 60. Late night fog tomorrow night in spots with a low down to 43. Patchy fog early Friday, but a dry, fairly comfortable day, partly cloudy 67. Upper 60s on Saturday, Saturday night, Sunday, Monday. More widespread shower activity. Rains could be heavy just south of Champaign. Weekend high Sunday, Monday in the middle 60s. Back up near 70 and some much needed dry weather short term for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
I am sorry he is not the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. I'm not sure he's sorry because he might have got a better gig. In fact, he did. Brother Johnny is in house, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny.
Good morning. Good morning, Ed.
Hey, guys. Well, you're in house. What are you doing up there?
Oh,
Johnny?
we're visiting Mom
Family?
and got the great-grandkids see their great-grandmother here and getting through Philo. And, it's the beautiful May day, a little misty, cold, rainy, cloudy.
Well, Ed Martin, I want you to go over your title for me again, and I'm going to try and take notes.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, it's hard for me to keep up. Well, I mean, number one, I'm the pardon attorney, which is a big job in the American Constitution, and so it's got a lot of duties. Many of them, sort of regular. Lots of people that would like to get a pardon or get out of jail early, serving a long sentence, and they've become model citizens and all. So there's a lot of bureaucratic stuff, but really interesting. And from the standpoint of giving people good things in life, it's probably one of the nicest things government can do. So that's kind of neat, and that's a lot to learn and interesting. Of course, it's also interesting because we're talking about pardons and Joe Biden's pardons and everything else. And then the second thing I'm doing is I'm the head of the weaponization working group, which is it's only limited to the Russia hoax, January 6th, targeting American citizens through lawfare, targeting school board parents when they show up at the school boards, Jack Smith and his investigation, and I think everything else in the country. So it's a very small docket.
Wow.
And,
Where do you begin? Where does it even start? How do you prioritize that?
Well, the nice thing is we got a boss that did the beginning of it for us, and that Attorney General Bondi, when she got on, she gave us a memo that created this working group, and she listed the key ones, and they actually were some of the ones I told you. January 6th, the Jack Smith and lawfare, the school board parents, whistleblowers, how they were targeted. So there is a discrete list that we've been working on for a couple months, but the more interesting sort of question is how do I, as now the leader of this, because I've been on that group for a couple months, and one of the reasons I think the president said go over to DOJ, and the other title I have is Associate Deputy Attorney General, which is kind of on the senior staff of the Attorney General of the country. Kind of that's the best way to think of it. But my docket is this weaponization stuff, and the president's acknowledgement was I think. There's a lot to do there. Somebody needs to be the captain of that team, not just have a whole team of. So that's sort of how we got there. And now the challenge is a kind of management challenge. How do you keep discrete focus on these different areas and pursue things? And one thing I've been telling people is some frustration amongst I think Trump supporters and maybe Americans. Where's the arrests? Where's the prosecutions? And that stuff. That kind of work takes time. Probably it's good for the country and good for our system that you don't just rush out and arrest everybody. You have to go through the process and due process. But it also feels a little slow to me, and I know it does to other people. And one of the things I think we need to do, and one of the reasons I'm back on the radio with you guys after being a little quiet, was it has to be a public-facing conversation that, we have to be talking about what we're finding and what is going on because people need to understand what is happening as well as see, say, a prosecution or an arrest or a non-arrest, right, or something. So it's going to be a really interesting challenge, and I think as I saw the president at the White House a couple days ago, and he was, 2 nights ago, I suppose it was, and he said, I think you got to a better spot. I think it's a better spot for you. You can really help. And I was like, yes, sir, and he said, a lot to do, and I was like, yeah. So, it's a challenge, but it's a great time to be great time to be doing this, and it's exciting.
I tell you what, though, Eddie, I think of course, now this is just radio talk, but to me, a priority should be that January 6th because of their aggressive attack and their sensitivity to it. I think your resistance to being confirmed as U.S. Attorney was that. And now now you're in an even more prominent spot for that particular issue because it's so relevant to what has gone on and what really was the story behind. I bet you'll find some interesting things out there.
But on top of that, it's not only Trump derangement syndrome. They have J6 derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
You bring it up.
No,
it's
right,
like,
that's the whole point.
Well, it's a civil war. They started a civil war.
That's not a normal protest.
No,
There's
you
something
can't.
there.
Something's going on.
Yeah, well, and I agree with you. It's funny you say that. I did an interview this morning, and the host of that interview said something similar. He said, I think maybe you got resistance because they didn't want you to keep getting to the bottom of it January 6th. And I thought, and I said back, well, that's funny because now it's on my docket even more squarely.
Yeah.
But I do think, guys, one way to think about it is every major issue that looks like it was government being abusive towards us, it also followed on with, you're not allowed to talk about it. You'll be deplatformed.
Yeah.
I remember we used to joke Facebook would drop us if we talked about certain subjects. And so if you talk about January 6th, get deplatformed. If you talk about the Russia hoax, get deplatformed. Talk about the COVID reality, get deplatformed.
Mm-hmm.
All these categories, and you suddenly get deplatformed. And we know now it's cause and effect. And the question is, A, who did what and how did it happen? And B, frankly, is it happening again, or can we stop it from happening again? And what does it mean? But it's kind of like even the pardons. When people say to me, well, Joe Biden's pardons, the answer to people is, if I sell you a house and you buy my house, and then it turns out that I tricked you and it was fraudulent, you can not only get your money back, I can be charged for criminally committing fraud. But if I give you a pardon and I'm not mentally competent to do that deal, or say it differently, if the real estate agent knows I'm not competent to do the deal and goes through with it, the real estate agent can be the one on the hook. I mean, right now, and now back to this point, if you look at the pardons, the unprecedented pardons by Joe Biden, the ones that really stood out like 10 years back or 14 years back for his son, the Fauci pardons, they were these strange, pardoning all the January 6th select committee
that's
and
a
staff.
flag to me too.
And right, so all those ones are the same categories of things that you were not supposed to comment on, or you get deplatformed. At a certain point, you're like, all the arrows are pointing in the same direction about this isn't your choice on a tax rate, where you argue about the policy. This is somehow stuff you're doing, and again, as a prosecutor as well as a human being, you start to say, why are you so defensive? What's going on here? And I think that's another part of this moment. But look, guys, I mean, it's not stunning to any of us that watched, but it's crazy now that the Democrats are admitting how out of it Joe Biden was. I mean, it is, this is now, they're basically admitting he was not competent for much of his presidency. And this is a constitutional scandal like we've never had before. This isn't like Woodrow Wilson when his wife was in charge for 4 or 5 months. This was the whole time. Actually, maybe it's similar because I think she was. Yeah, that was something alleged.
Similar.
So, but it's amazing to have this all breaking out now. And by the way, I think some of it's a distraction. I meant to tell you guys this, that it's a distraction to talk about cancer and Joe Biden's presidency when what you really need to talk about is who did a lot of this stuff to the American people. Who targeted Catholics and school board members. I kind of feel like we got to watch. Don't get distracted by the shiny object.
Well, and they're going to, of course, say, we knew it. They're using lawfare against us, but there's a difference between lawfare and fair law. And when you've done something criminal, you need to be investigated. What was it that you all were up to, or whoever you? So hey, Ed, we're here to help. So just, anytime you need something, we got all kinds of advice down here in Philo.
It's Ed Martin, Brother Johnny, Diane Ducey. We're here, ESPN 93.5. I'm Stevie J. So, Ed, I should have said, if your son or daughters are in an elevator for 2 floors and they say, what does your dad do? That would be so. Pardon attorney, deputy assistant attorney general, and in charge of weaponization against the people of the United States from our government.
That's amazing.
So Ed, now that you've been in kind of the attorney's office in D.C., you've always said swamp, and now you're seeing how the sausage is made. Is there anything that surprises you, even at this point, of what you're finding out?
Well, that, part of the problem of the swamp is in the swamp there are swamp creatures that are dangerous, and you can see them, or you can learn to spot them. That's kind of oh, there goes an alligator, there goes whatever, I don't know, a snake. What is harder to understand for people is everybody that lives in a swamp moves through the swamp in the water, in the atmosphere, and so the culture is swamped up and flawed. And so even the good people that are honest, I think, and honorable, and you want them to do, you're like, hey, we're going to do this. Here's the mission. Let's, we're going to change our focus and go here. They just have it's almost like it's worse than bureaucracy, though. It's kind of, the mindset is towards a kind of status quo, and the status quo is big government is good, and everything that we're doing is good, and everything that's changed is bad, and Trump is bad, and so you sort of catch yourself sort of figuring, well, I can't, for example, I can't wonder if the security guard isn't going to keep me safe because I'm a Trump supporter. That's silly. They're there to keep everybody safe. On the other hand, the mindset of all of the people living here is kind of in that direction, and it doesn't go away. And you kind of think to yourself, isn't everybody seeing that we need something better? And it doesn't really go away. Or maybe say it differently, it doesn't go away in 6 months or one term. So that part of it can be a little depressing or daunting. And then you say, well, Ed, it must not be that way in the Trump DOJ. No, it is. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of employees, and only the top few hundred are replaced in and out, and the other ones live in the swamp, and so they breathe the swamp air. So that part of it makes you sort of say, is it possible to get things changed? And by the way, you watch the Doge guys. I think the Doge guys, I think Elon's sort of changing his role, but part of it, I suspect, is frustration, because those guys are like, look what we found, let's do better. And people look at them like, oh yeah, you found something, good for you, and they move on. So it's I think that part of it, you can feel why people get sort of daunted and sort of depressed by it.
Yeah, and I think it's just like what you're saying. The environment is, you have to depend on your environment. You adapt to a way to survive, and that's right. In the swamp, you're not going to be like you would be out in the fresh air.
Yeah. So it's possible over time you grow scales and gills too. So you're part of that.
Exactly, right. And the culture, like a culture of a company or a culture of your working team, you get that culture and everybody buys in, and it stays that way almost no matter what if you do it right. And it's a similar thing with it, and that part of it is daunting because it's so big. I mean, look, I've gone from one place, the U.S. Attorney's Office, probably the greatest prosecutor's office in the world. Now I'm over at the Pardon Attorney's Office, which is about 50 people and a whole bunch of lawyers, and also very kind. And I'm in the Department of Justice with up on the fourth floor with a whole suite of all these people. In every one of these places, I'm seeing the same dynamic again and again and again, which is to say the leaders are trying to lead, and the follower or the people in the place are saying they want to come along, but the culture is a different culture. And someone asked me yesterday, what's the characteristic of the MAGA right now? The one thing I'll say about the sort of people that are brought in, there is a sense of kind of, it's a funny word to say, but it's like a joy and energy. And as soon as you see it, you're like, that guy's an appointee or a MAGA guy, because they got the energy and the joy. And then you go in another room and you get this sort of deadening thing. And again, it's not that they're evil. Nobody's going in the room and saying, I'm going to be evil. They just have the rhythm is not, high energy and dynamic. Yeah. It's, sort of survive in the thing you're in, as you said.
Well, you got to keep your head down because, okay, these guys are great, I love it, but if I really sign on, the next guy's going to throw me out. And these guys this is their career, right? Yeah. So they're trying to figure out, how do I just keep getting from the next change to the next change? I get it, Ed. It's a real problem, man.
And that's not... Yeah, and that's not something that any of us should begrudge. Like, somebody wants to be able to feed their family and all that. I mean, it's like, okay, I got it. It's not a... But it is, that's right. That's the dynamic.
It's just too big.
Johnny's always been term limit guy, and I've always been with him on that for sure. So I say term limits in 50 years could change culture if you just go in and out, say 8 or 10 years. Couldn't we do that with the bureaucracy and say you served your government 10 years, at year 8, Bob's coming in to learn your job?
Move around like the military, at least.
Yeah, at least change.
Yes, but I'm going to tell you something. Like, first of all, yes, by the way, Johnny, my wife the other day said, I've had enough. She says what she said the other day. I've had enough with all, because I didn't get confirmed, and she said, she asked about a couple of people that said they were going to help but didn't help, and she's like, these people, I hate them all. Let's just do term limits. And she said, and I said, she said, why can't we do term limits? And I was telling a story. We've tried and all, but actually, I wonder. These things do go in cycles, but I wonder if we're at a point where you could see that really come back. And anyway, it's another discussion. But but I do think here's the problem with your point. Any good person, like I'm doing this now. You come to the pardon attorney's office, and there's complexity to the rulemaking and all, and there's good people that know all that. So you say, oh well, let's get somebody to train somebody, and you say, well, someone's been here 16 years. She's got 10 more years till she retires, and she's really good at it. And why would I try to get somebody who's not good at it really good at it, right? Let's just use the person that's here.
Because the non-urgency remains. The non-urgency, if you can't fire me or transfer me, I don't have to do what you're asking. That's what I don't like in government is non-urgency.
Yeah, that's right. And exactly, that's actually the best word for it that's what you end up with. Is non-urgency. But you're asking me practically why it doesn't happen. That's why it doesn't happen. And I can see the why of it, but I agree with you. And one thing that I think, like Kash Patel, people missed it. He's moving the FBI headquarters. He's leaving the big monstrosity, and he's moving across the street to the Reagan Building. What they don't realize is I think there's like 5,000 people in the big monstrosity, and I think 80% of them are getting moved out of town, and they're going to Huntsville, Alabama, or somewhere else. And the point is, that's kind of one way to do it.
Yeah.
I also think Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, President Kennedy, it was before many of the protections for workers, so it probably was easier. But a couple of times he didn't like an agency, and so he closed it. And then, like a month later, he opened a new one, similar mission, and he basically staffed it with who he wanted. I do think, I actually wonder if you'd be better served at this moment, for example, to shut down the FBI and rename them and have them do a narrower mission. But I don't know that you can get back the trust by saying we're going to have new guidelines for the FBI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's a real challenge for the psychology of the country, and I'm just not sure. Even though Kash and Dan are doing a heck of a job, I salute them. They're working hard. I know how hard they're working. It's a very hard thing to do, and I think it's a challenge.
Moving out of Washington, that's interesting, and then people still have their jobs, but you're free from the swamp. You're out of that air,
that
and
culture.
now maybe you're in Wichita.
And a whole bunch of people
Yeah.
quit.
Exactly.
Because and so that's not a bad thing. That's the point. Is that's a way to force yourself to do it. So
well, I think one of the biggest problems is it's too big, Ed. We've gotten too big to really practically manage almost everything.
Yeah.
And that's one
That's
way
true.
to kind of cull it down. Just whoever really is dedicated, I'll go ahead and move to Huntsville. But if they're not, they'll find something else to do. These are capable people.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yeah. Right. Well, Ed, it's fascinating. I mean, I'm just all ears. You're talking. I'm getting stuff I've never heard before. I've got a guy on the inside. This is so cool. It's really good.
Well, you guys didn't come. You guys didn't come to visit fast enough, so you missed my first office. You better hurry the hell out.
Actually, we've missed three. This is the third office.
OMB was the White House, man.
We've missed your office.
Exactly. I told you, Johnny's just afraid of buying that steak dinner he owes us.
Kidding.
I mean, it's terrible.
No, I'm in now. We're going to do something here. We'll just figure it out.
I just want to walk on K Street and say, I know Ed Martin. I know Ed Martin. I know Ed Martin. Stand back. I know
exactly. They'll throw stuff at you.
Yeah, right.
Although here's a funny story, guys. Here's an insider story. You'll love this. When I was U.S. attorney, the type of people in D.C. that needed to talk to me and would come to see me and call and all were lawyers with clients that had criminal things, and there were some, but not many. When I was OMB chief of staff, even for the 2 months as the run-up, that's a job that lobbyists care about. So suddenly everybody I ever knew that knew me that was a lobbyist had discovered my phone number, and they were calling. They're like, oh, yeah, Ed, I was invited to all these parties around the inauguration, and then I became U.S. attorney, and they all disappeared. Yeah. Well, here's what's crazy. I didn't know this. There's a big industry where people pay a lot of money if you're rich and you get convicted of a tax fraud or something. They pay for a pardon, And so they got these high-end lawyers and consultants and all. And so suddenly I'm getting calls from the same sets of lobbyists. So like, hey, Ed, how's it going? Oh, good. I'm good. They're like, hey, I got this client. You know, it was a bookkeeping error. And he got convicted. And can I talk to you about this part? And I'm not joking when I tell you it's probably 50 different lobbyists because there's people that have done something wrong. And so I'm like, well, you know, there's an application process, send it in, but anyway, so it's been kind of an interesting.
So, does partner attorney recommend who should get a partner, who shouldn't, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the system, so the Constitution it's probably the most clearly identified plenary power, right? The president gets to pardon, period. He can do whatever he wants. He could do it on the last day, first day. He could tell you why. He could even do it because someone says, I'm going to hire you when you're done in office. It's almost impossible to sort of, you know, and the only caveat I'd say is it has to be mentally competent to sign a pardon, but that's a different story. But the process right now is that the pardon attorney's office intakes applications. And so we get thousands a year, and then we look at them, and then we take them to the deputy attorney general inside our building, you know, so I report to him, and he will take, his name's Todd Blanche, he will take our recommendation and then send it over to the White House, and then the White House counsel does a review of it, and then it goes to the president. Now that's the process. You say to yourself, how did we end up with 4 steps? I have no idea. I mean, there really should be 2 steps. It should be a staffer to the White House counsel does this whole thing well and then gives it over. To me, and the reason why it happens this way is because most of the applications are from people who are currently in prison. So they're regular folks. They're not rich folks. They're not friends of anyone. They're just regular, and they got sentenced to 40 years in jail. They go to jail. They get to AA. They get better. They serve 15 years, and they're saying, "Could I please get a pardon so I could go? I'm only 55. Wouldn't it be better for me to?" And that's a large portion of, and in many ways, one of the really cool things about the job. And President Trump said he wants to do this. Is you give people a second chance. It's like playing God, right? If you can get somebody out. I mean, it's extraordinary privilege to be. And the woman who's the pardon czar is that Alice Johnson. Yeah. She actually has an office in the White House. Wow. And I work with her. She's sort of the face of the reform. So that part of it's really great. And I told the staff when I met him, Donald Trump dedicated his platform, and I worked on it, as you know, and he dedicated it to the forgotten man and woman of America. And I said to them, I challenged my staff. I said, we need to find the forgotten people that don't have a lobbyist, they don't have a lawyer, and that are in categories maybe where, you know, somebody there's an example, one of these big mortgage bankers, the company was owned by like Countrywide, the guy, remember Angelo Mazzillo? He got a fine, and like 50 of his mortgage bankers that were in their 20s went to jail. And you're like, wait, why did the top guy get away with it and the regular people get hammered? Well, because Obama wanted to make sure they could say they convicted somebody, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, so is there a way to go looking for the forgotten man and woman and try to help them? So I think the president and the sort of the his history of wanting to find these people will be great, and I think that'll be really special, and I'm looking forward to that part of it. It really is a kind of a special privilege.
Unbelievable, Steve.
Ed, great stuff. We want to call you next week, and every darn week you're great. We appreciate your service.
We may go to 3 days a week,
might go to 5 days a week, Ed. Listen, thank you for your time. Always a pleasure, Ed Martin. Thank you,
Ed.
sir. Appreciate you very much from Washington, D.C. Well, you follow up the pardon attorney for the United States to Steve Suderman, and you get these two pictures together, people say, who's standing next to Steve Suderman? I mean, that's it. Steve Suderman of Good Vibes has been around over 53 years selling big screen televisions and home theaters. How are you?
It is a tough act to follow, an act like Eddie, and as a humble shopkeeper trying to navigate choppy waters. I'm at least very grateful that we have some sports to fall back on because, one, they help sell TVs. It's funny, the NBA is just never all that exciting to me until it is.
Yeah.
I have big hopes for the Timberwolves to go somewhere, but the Thunder look just absolutely awesome. Mm-hmm. And
well, I think the Knicks,
New York.
Knicks coming up.
Yeah,
they're
I
the
can't
only
root
ones
for
who.
New York, but it's good to see them what they're doing. It's got to be really revitalized.
They're the only ones who've won a championship of the 4.
Oh, okay. Knicks and Willis Reed and back in the day.
I don't think the Pacers have won.
And that was in when, the 70s?
70s.
Yeah, well, it's been
Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe. Hey, so you got a big screen I can watch all this on, maybe?
You think the price of everything is a big topic right now. Yesterday, LG announced a drop on their new G5 series. Now, I haven't bought any of these things in because they are unabashedly expensive. That's their flagship line. But there were $200 and $300, across the board drops on those things. So I'll be writing that order today to get those going in here. But in the meantime, the C4 series, which is what we've been selling for the last year, is at the lowest price it's ever been at. The 65 is $12.99.
Oh.
That's a 65-inch OLED that'll just knock your eyes out. That is very, very affordable. And of course, we sell the premium stuff, but they're giving the store away on these things. So I think they'll be gone by June, maybe into July. But it's great. And the TV service is kind of a sore topic with people. Dish just announced 3 months free. So if you're rural and you're not able to stream this stuff, or you're tired of the cost of Netflix added to Peacock, added to this and that, you can get Dish and not pay for it for 3 months.
You're awesome. So. You got the deals. You got the stuff. How can people see this? How do they get hold of you, my friend?
We're at 2010 Round Bar next to the driver's license facility, where we've got the stuff hooked up to watch and listen to. And you can see us on the web at gvibes.com. And there's always some deals that we can't put on the website, so
go take a look, gvibes.com. Hey, my friend, always a pleasure, Steve Suderman. You the man.
Thanks, Stevie.
That's Steve Suderman at Good Vibes. This is WSJK, Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana.
At the French Quarter, where we are this morning, as 19-year-old Corey Boyd was taken into custody at a housing development. Boyd was originally held for second-degree murder, aggravated battery, and threatening a public official.
Fox's Nate Foy in New Orleans. They all broke out early Friday. A jail maintenance worker is charged with helping them escape. A congressman has died. Democrat Jerry Connolly from Virginia, who had recently announced he wouldn't be running for re-election as he battled cancer. Connolly was 75. In the House now, the Rules Committee's been working since 1 a.m. trying to finalize that massive budget plan President Trump calls one big, beautiful bill.
We're trying to get everything done so that we have the possibility of a vote tonight or tomorrow.
Republican Congressman Morgan Griffith says not everyone in the GOP is united yet, like President Trump's urging them to be, as the bill would fund his agenda, extending the 2017 tax cuts. Democrats say that'll benefit the wealthy in a bill they claim will take health coverage and food assistance away from poorer Americans. Israel went on the attack again overnight with airstrikes targeting Hamas. The Palestinians say killed at least 45 people in Gaza, where the living conditions are a big concern for Pope Leo XIV, appealing for more humanitarian aid today. In his first general audience of about 40,000 people there in St. Peter's Square,
he said the devastating price of the war was being paid by children, the elderly, and the sick. After an 11-week blockade, Israel says it will allow basic amounts of food to enter Gaza. According to the UN, as of yesterday, nothing had reached those in need.
Jonathan Savage, America's listening to Fox News.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
A Democratic congresswoman will appear in a federal court virtually this morning as LaMonica McIver deals with criminal charges, accused of assaulting law enforcement in a confrontation with federal ICE agents earlier this month in New Jersey outside a detention center for immigrants. McIver denies assaulting anyone and calls the charges purely political, thanking supporters.
All of the folks, around this nation who understand and know what this administration, has been doing to judges, to political leaders, lacking people of undue process.
Another Democrat is also under scrutiny now by the Trump Justice Department.
Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is being investigated for statements he made to lawmakers who were looking into his management of the COVID-19 pandemic while the virus was spreading through nursing homes. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, a Republican, recommended that Cuomo, a Democrat, be charged with lying in his referral to the Justice Department. The investigation comes just months after federal prosecutors dropped a corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams, who is an opponent of Cuomo's in the upcoming mayoral race. A Cuomo spokesperson called it election interference and said the former governor had, quote, testified truthfully to the best of his recollection. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
On Wall Street, more selling is brewing. Dow futures down nearly 400 points before the opening bell this hour. There is Olympics news. NFL players will be competing in 2028 in flag football in a plan NFL owners approved.
Olympic rosters will be set by the national committee for each country, and a maximum of one player from each team will be allowed to play. Flag football will be making its Olympic debut in the Los Angeles Games, with the competition consisting of 6 men's teams and 6 women's teams, with the game itself being a 5-on-5 format.
That's Fox's Joe Morgan. In the NBA playoffs, Oklahoma City took the opening game of the Western Conference Finals, blowing out Minnesota 114-88. I'm Dave Anthony, and this is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Few shelves at the Champaign County Humane Society full again after weekend donations, but employees know they'll continue to need more so they can help more pet owners in the county. The Community Pet Food Pantry, available for those who have a cat or a dog, but temporarily can't afford food for them. A big thanks to all who volunteer and help out. U of I Board of Trustees discussing the possibility of purchasing a Wi-Fi system for Memorial Stadium. The $10 million project would work to improve the fan experience by giving internet access to people throughout the venue and the tailgating area in Grange Grove. Willard Airport preparing for the worst-case scenario, a plane crash. Their emergency preparedness exercise isn't a new event, but it keeps response tactics fresh for the first responders who would be on the scene if a plane did crash. The FAA requires Willard Airport to carry out this exercise every 3 years. Around 50 volunteers played victims in the exercise. You're locally up to date. From the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom, I'm Jim Miller.
I was just trying to get my arms around this story in New Orleans. So you had 10 guys get out. They took the sink out. There's a Shawshank Redemption hole.
Yeah.
And the guy that works at the jail, a staff guy, turned off the water for them so they could leave without a mess. Mm-hmm. So they get out and they have to run through this yard with a big, huge razor wire fence that they use blankets so they don't get cut climbing over. Nobody saw that. And then nobody noticed they were gone for 10 hours. Is that the story?
Well, and so it could happen anyway.
It sounds like,
was
it the Ferris Bueller guys underneath the
blankets and pillows and recording devices? No, I mean, it is rather stunning. And then to find them again when they think they're all in New Orleans still.
Right.
And you got 5
Why
to
wouldn't you leave the country or
Well,
something?
they don't have any. Where would they go?
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's hard. So what's interesting to me is that this is New Orleans. And we talk a lot of politics. It's a solid blue Democratic run city with no input accepted. And what you're seeing on Fox, if you're watching from day to day, you'll see a lot of the Republican state officials, including the governor and our attorney general, talking about it, because they've actually made a deal with New Orleans. If we're going to help, and if you guys can't bring charges or you don't think you have them, but we've been in on the case, like chasing down the criminals, we can charge them.
I see.
And so they're kind of stepping in to help the city manage, because it's all just poor management.
And the jail cells locks didn't work.
Didn't work.
So they could go from kind of like you go see your neighbor and you open your cell door, like Otis from Andy Mayberry.
If you remember the tragedy
on his own cell,
New Year's Day, it was a lot of poor management. We had barricades; they just were broken, and they were in getting fixed on New Year's Day.
Yeah.
And so here goes a truck right through, crazy guy in a truck.
Yeah, I remember that story too.
It takes good management to run anything.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, you probably have some consequences.
Well, Soliak could get you a job at the jail. Apparently, they're short of people.
They are short of people.
Can I be Brother Johnny's campaign manager for mayor of New Orleans?
Let's go, Johnny.
Wow. I'll tell you something. If the judge said 3 years in jail, in prison, or you can be the mayor of New Orleans,
I'd have to say, well, what prison are we talking about?
Minimum security in Colorado.
Man, it's a tough job. Oh, man. That's a tough job. Well,
oh, my. Okay.
You would
I
not
digress.
have like-minded people on your council. And if Greg were campaign manager, I'd probably get the job. Yeah, you probably would get the job if Greg Solier.
That's right, because Johnny and I are we run in a good weather party today. Maybe not yesterday evening, but, generally.
Guaranteed nothing but sunshine.
There you go.
That's right.
Rain only at night and not on the weekend.
That's right. All right, our meteorologist Greg Solier, brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
You're a premier provider for home improvements, specializing in siding, windows, doors, roofing. Up to 25% savings now as you poke around at kramersiding.com.
Boy, turbulence in our central Illinois region last night for sure. And boy, we got more coming and cooler temps for a while too, Mr. Greg.
Yeah, oy vey, man. I hope you folks at Paxton, Rantoul, Collis, and everything over the northern through western Champaign County area and into parts of Vermilion County. A couple of twister touched out. Fisher, for example, 1 to 2 inch diameter hail in some of those tightly wound thunderstorms that generated tornado activity. That's another signature. And tell you what, 2-inch hail on a rooftop, car top, on top of livestock or crops. That's a problem. But things are quieting down. But we've got more rain in the forecast. Again, we keep talking about, okay, we've got planning, ongoing planning, and then we have dryness and drought. Starting to see that weather pattern evolve here the next 3 or 4 weeks into the upper Midwest plains. But it's the middle part where we're going to have to replant in some areas. Maybe so going forward here. A few lighter rain showers. No instability to work with today. 57 at Willett and Savoy, 56 Rantoul, 58, 59. We're essentially going to hold it almost April-like temperatures around here, and those showers up towards northern Fort Iroquois County will come southward here later this morning and this afternoon. They'll linger tonight, early on tonight, 47 the low. Tomorrow, breezy, cool, 60. Should be 74 this time of the year. Maybe a quick shower in the morning and a sprinkle in the afternoon. We do moderate after some morning fog on Friday, partly cloudy, upper 60s, but late Saturday, more likely Saturday night into Sunday, maybe some rain, delay theater at the Brickyard. Rain and shower activity expected to build from southwest to northeast. Inch plus south of Champaign, half to an inch around here. 66 Sunday, Monday high at 65 and upper 60s. We start some short-term drying next Tuesday and Wednesday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window, a proud member of Prairie Home Alliance. A new front door can instantly upgrade the look of your home and make it more energy efficient. The Kramer Siding and Window team can also install French doors to your deck or patio, welcoming the outside in, or storm doors for an extra layer of protection against the elements. The estimate is free, financing is available, and the business is local. Schedule your beautiful new door today and save 25%. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
Stevie J here. With Nate Evans of eXp Realty, you'll always get a stress-free sale for the most money.
Sell your home with Nate. Pick the price, pick the day. Go to theNateEvansGroup.com.
Hi, this is Les Hovland with Philo Exchange Bank. At our banks, we know the hearts of our communities beat with the rhythm of agriculture. Ag lending continues to be something we've excelled at for over 140 years. To you, the farmer, your business has been built on trusted relationships. When it comes to your banking relationship, we want to be your trusted partner.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
We're talking to John Reichert from A&R Mechanical. 100 years in our community. So many buildings in this town, like Memorial Stadium. Of course, the State Farm Center. Can you remember the reaction from the company getting that? Because that's a big one.
Oh, that was huge. If you just think about it a little bit, everything we put in is straight, pipe is straight. We're putting all that into a round building. And, it took a lot of know-how to make that project happen. It was one of the first projects we did using our new technologies. And the timing was just right. We were the right people for that project, and I think we did it successfully.
The legacy of A&R. John, I could almost say, what haven't you built? Up and down campus, the Siebel Center was fairly new for computer science.
Everybody was working as a team, and I think it came out very well.
A&R Mechanical has helped build Carl at the Fields expansion and other Carl projects in Provena and Sarah Bush Lincoln. The list goes on and on. Visit them at ar-mech.com.
At Christie.
I think we had some texts, didn't we? I don't think I've gotten any of these, and not everybody's a fan. Would they call Ed a sycophant? Is that me or Ed?
And, well, could he been either one of these?
Yeah, that's right. Johnny needs to sit closer to the mic. All right.
Okay.
We can do that.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Yeah, I'm confused on my phone trying to get these texts. Anyway, if you see any, just go ahead. By the way,
Pete says the swamp has a current, and it takes courage to swim against it.
I see.
for sure.
Okay.
So that's probably true.
Yeah. Okay, so we do have a Stever. I'm giving out a $500 prize package to someone who wants Lands Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing to take care of your stuff for a year. I mean, it's the plumbing, it's all the HVAC stuff, and they're terrific at what they do. If you want the Orange Comfort Club, I'm paying that for 2 people today. And to enter, all you got to do is text in LANZ to 217-359-2255. 217-359-2255, and you'll be eligible to win a year's service. I'm handing you $500.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, so I have a clip here I wanted to play. Johnny has, see what you think of Greg Gutfeld talking about how this worked with Joe Biden. I mean, how did all this happen? How did it go?
How did a candidate running as a reasonable centrist, a moderate, end up as the most left-wing progressive president in history? I just told you the answer. The debilitation was deliberate. And the ideas that we saw coming happened because of that. They embraced his infirmity. It was necessary for all this to happen. And now what they're trying to do is an emotional pivot away from our outrage to sympathy, and it won't work.
Well, I think that, sure, he's probably got a point, but I think it was simply Joe was selected because he was in agreement with going along with whatever he needed to go along with to be president. Joe, I don't think has a lot of integrity. As he slipped, it just became actually worse because now it did look like, oh, he's not capable, we're taking over. They were always in charge. It was always going to be left wing. I heard Joe say numerous times, I'm a progressive. I don't know where anyone got this moderate centrist other than his image over the 50 or 60 years because we don't have term limits.
Yeah.
You
Right.
can't remember where he is on the spectrum, but he was always pretty weak, had a tendency to put his foot in his mouth, and a pretty likable guy by most standards that people I've heard as far as when you meet him on the street. So he had a good personality for politics. But as far as him being president, I go back to the 3 primaries before he went to South Carolina. I think he was 4th. I mean, he was getting 3 points. Right. And so they put him in, and it was because I'm going to let you guys do whatever you want. I'm going along with everything.
Wow.
That's what, now, I wasn't there, but that's what I take from what I saw. I don't think they started to take over as he declined, which he did, but it was always the same thing, and that's why he was so left-wing president, because on day one, they started with it.
All right, looking to build, buy, or refinance? Partner with Busey. Their in-house mortgage expertise and participation in a wide range of programs mean your home loan is tailored to your needs. Dozens of special mortgage programs, dozens of them. Traditional financing options include fixed and adjustable rate mortgages, construction and lot loans, investment properties. Busey offers a suite of products to benefit low and moderate income families as well, making the dream of home ownership happen for those who need it most. Busey provides simplified home financing, experienced lending professionals. If you want to apply online at your own pace, it only takes about 20 minutes or less. Go to BuseyMortgage.com with free pre-qualifications. Shop for your home knowing all of your options. Busey is a name you can trust, whether you're a first-timer or somebody who's done this a lot. If you're ready to take the next step, partner with Busey for the resources to turn your dream of home ownership into reality. Call 800-67-BUSEY and ask which special mortgage loan program is right for you. Visit BuseyMortgage.com. Go check your weather again with Greg. And again, we're into the 60s and rain. I mean, high is 60 tomorrow?
That's right.
That's nuts.
Lots of day games today. Detroit beat St. Louis yesterday. 12:15 first pitch here on ESPN 93.5 for our Cardinals.
Cubbies are day game today at US 105.9. We have
12:10.
Cubs are 2 games in front of the St. Louis Cardinals now for the National League Central Division lead.
Facing the Marlins. Beat the Marlins 14-1 yesterday.
Yeah, beating teams they need to beat.
And Chicago White Sox beat the Mariners yesterday. They're in action at 1:10 today.
It's a Illini Day.
Yes.
If anybody was out there.
Worked out good.
Our weather this morning brought to you by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm and Kurt Lenschow are there. And at Watts Copy Systems, they offer cost-efficient solutions for busy offices. If you want a free evaluation, just call them, 217-352-0428 for Watts Copy Systems. It's 8:19.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Florida, Champaign and Benefit City. Hopefully you made it through A-OK. And that barrage of severe weather, including large hail, damaging wind, and even a couple of twisters noted. Yeah, we were in that slight risk area as expected. Otherwise, it's a blustery, chilly, almost late winter, early spring feel currently. And later on today, temperatures holding in the upper 50s with some patchy fog around, giving way to a couple of rain showers at times as the day wears on. That northwest west wind 15 to 25 miles per hour through tonight. We'll bottom out with a shower threat this evening, still at 47. Tomorrow, breezy, cool, a showered spots in the morning, maybe a sprinkle in the afternoon, the high near 60 on a northwest wind. Clouds break late tomorrow night, low down to 43. Some patchy fog early Friday, partly cloudy, not bad, 67. Shower chances back in late Saturday, then more widespread rains for Sunday and the holiday on Monday, including over the Brickyard. Highs of about 67 for the day Saturday, mid-60s Sunday and Monday, back to the upper 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. First TVJ Broadcasting, I'm Beetlejuice, Greg Soldier.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Target's disappointing quarter is dragging down the sentiment for investors this morning. Target's earnings and revenue both were weaker than expected. Sales declined in the recent quarter, and for the full year it sees weaker sales. Target has been facing a boycott since it pulled back its support for corporate diversity policies. It also pared back its LGBTQ-themed merchandise in 2023. Shares of TJX, parent of TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods, are down nearly 2%. Sales rose in the recent quarter, though Wall Street was hoping for an even stronger showing. CEO Ernie Herrmann says he's convinced the company's assortment will continue to be a tremendous draw for shoppers seeking value. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola, invested in you.
It is time to take the quiz.
It's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We ask people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
I'm having what she's having. It's a quote from a 1989 film starring Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. Name the film.
E.T. When Harry Met Sally.
You got it. When Harry Met Sally.
Either way you did, you can always try again tomorrow. Take the quiz every day at thequiz.fox. Then come back here to see how you did.
Thank you for taking the quiz.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone.
We're always looking for people. You can go online and apply on our website. We never know what we're going to need. We're always expanding. We're always building more and growing our business. If we don't need a person and they come along and we find out that they're an eagle, they're a star, we'll hire them. We'll put them somewhere and wait for the spot we're going to have them working.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Jesse with Lands Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions. Hey, do you have sewer blockages, problems? Are your toilets gurgling? Why deal with the headache? Call Lands Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions today. We can come out and clean your line, camera it, show you what the problem is, and then we have an expert underground team that can make those repairs. 217-355-5512. We are here for you when you need us. Lands Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions. Why call anyone else?
The distinguished senator from wherever, Chris Van Hollen, is that Connecticut? Where's that guy from? He went to see the MS-13 guy.
Wasn't it Maryland where the guy was the Maryland dad?
Maryland man, Chris Van Hollen. Okay, he's from senator from Maryland. And here's what he said to Marco Rubio this week.
And I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
May I respond?
You may sit.
Well,
Marco
first of all,
Rubio.
your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job, based on what I know.
Well, that's just a flippant statement, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman?
You may. I didn't ask.
Senator, please let the Secretary
I'd be happy to, but then I can respond to his...
Your time's up, Senator, and woefully used, I might add.
Woefully used, I might add.
Who was running that?
I don't know who that was running the hearing.
Well, by the way, Rubio got 98 votes.
99, I thought.
So maybe it's 98 now. So
Yeah.
He can give it back. That's what Marco Rubio says. Look, go back and change it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's he was one of them. So, no, this guy, by the way, they notice how the Maryland man has disappeared? Because they found that he beat his wife, and
it wasn't
human trafficking.
It's called throwing something up against the wall. If it doesn't stick, find something else to throw. Now, what was their latest thing? Oh, it was the possible doctoring of the photo of that man. So that was still the Maryland man.
Yeah, right.
But what's their latest? Can't track it.
Just there's just a rap sheet. He was.
Well, I'm talking about their next moving on.
Yeah.
From the Maryland
I
man.
see. Who has next?
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. I think they don't know what
They're
doing.
defensive on this Comey thing, and
well, Comey was about 10 minutes, and
it was a little distraction, and it didn't hold.
But he's trying to get interviews to the new book
tour.
No, I think it actually worked.
Yeah. Question is, will he be charged with anything for? Probably
I
not.
don't think so.
Okay, so Comey was 5 minutes, and then on to something else. But we'll see. The president wants to put a dome,
Golden Dome,
from kind of like the Israel. Of course, Israel's like a minuscule best in the United States. I mean, we're going to run this from space. Space Force is supposed to coordinate $175 billion. Would you do that?
$175 billion. We gave that to Ukraine. Yeah, I'd do that.
Would it be effective? How do you do that?
Well, I'm saying I would do that if we thought it could be effective, say a 90% probability.
But if you have stuff coming in many directions, are we able to? Does it just shoot it out of the sky where it doesn't hurt somebody else?
This is the show Paradise.
Yeah.
What?
I've been watching this show.
Well, that is
they have a dome, and
that is the concept.
Shoot it out of the sky, but what happens to the fallout of the?
It's better than blowing up on the ground next door.
Okay.
So you can take it out. It probably at a very high altitude, and that's you shoot something that intercepts it. That's the idea.
Okay.
And they have it's been shown that kind of technology works to do the whole United States. That's
they might want to start by shooting out, and we were doing that a little bit when we were working on our project about trying to shoot something out of the space. There's so much space junk. If an astronaut drops a wrench, it goes 1,200 miles an hour around the globe. So they were talking about actually shooting some of the people inside the government, shooting the space junk out of the sky from Earth to get rid of that danger of that thing randomly hitting something really important. So maybe we start by cleaning up the neighborhood up there.
Well, I think we start with protection from attack, because that's not a bad idea. Now, it could end up to do it, every town in Unit 7 gets their own one shot, Don't shoot it too early. Hold,
wait.
Because it's a lot of space, like you said. It's an amazing technology.
I know.
Even talk about.
It works for Israel.
It's not like a force field shield, though.
They got to shoot them out. But Israel's very effective at that, aren't they?
It's done well there.
Amazing. And frankly, I have a hard time believing it's only $175 billion.
Yeah, I do.
These stuff's cost overruns, so to speak.
When they said that number, because I would think 1.75 trillion.
Yeah.
We throw trillions around now.
Yeah,
right.
No question. Okay, Johnny, thanks for running in.
Hey, it's always good to be here, and we will catch you on the next go-round.
Yeah.
We're going to see our
Colorado.
grandparents-in-law.
You're going to be on from
Matthew.
Friday from Colorado? Is that the plan?
I think so. It's Matthew's birthday.
Matthew's birthday's tomorrow, is it?
Yep.
22.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
May 22nd.
Yeah. And believe 41.
Yeah.
Is he 40? You have a 41-year-old son?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I believe I was 11 when he was born.
There you go.
That's right. All right, that's Brother Johnny. ESPN 93.5. The news will be next. Attention, all truck drivers looking for a new opportunity with great pay and amazing benefits. Gale Frericks Trucking has got you covered. Join their team, receive a $4,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $4,000 just for coming on board. Plus, enjoy a $1,200 gross weekly pay guarantee. Drive their state-of-the-art Freightliner Cascadia trucks equipped with a revolutionary system designed to reduce weight and downtime. Get home every weekend and some nights during the week with paid vacations and holidays. They offer company-sponsored health insurance and all the benefits you deserve. Regional drivers get first priority. Don't wait. Apply in person at Dedicated Diesel, 1313 Triumph Drive, Urbana, or call Tim at 765-505-1295. That's 765-505-1295. Start your journey today with Gale Frericks Trucking.
Are you or a loved one 65 and older and need to schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit? An annual Medicare wellness visit allows you and your healthcare provider to establish a personalized prevention plan for your healthcare. Call your Christie Clinic primary care provider to learn more and schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit. Stay well with Christie Clinic.
Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
Hey Illini fans, it's Luke Altmaier here, starting quarterback for your Fighting Illini football team.
Get to him, he's going to run right, he's in, touchdown, touchdown, Illinois, Luke Altmaier, what a throw by Altmaier.
Altmaier's big time. We invite you to be a part of the action this year at Memorial Stadium. After a 10-win season and a Citrus Bowl victory, get your season tickets now for 2025 and make this season unforgettable.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. An all-nighter continues into this morning for the House Rules Committee, working to find enough Republican consensus to advance a budget bill. Virginia Republican Morgan Griffith on Fox.
We're still working, the Speaker is still working behind the scenes to get all the votes lined up. And it's kind of like a Rubik's Cube. You have to keep twisting things around, and eventually we can get there.
There's a tentative agreement to raise the limit on federal deductions for state and local taxes. Virginia House Democrat Jerry Conley died, 75 years old. He had cancer of the esophagus. President Trump meets today with South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa at the White House.
The White House just let 59 white South Africans into the U.S. as refugees. The president believes a South African law that requires South African businesses to be at least 30% owned by disadvantaged groups is discriminatory.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. America's listening to Fox News.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Time is running out to get your tickets to the Action Auction, supporting literacy in our community with books from Breck, as we honor Josh and Hope Whitman at the Champaign Rotaries event coming May 30th at the iHotel. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Amazing trip experiences and unique opportunities for the Illini fan to bid on. Go to our website now and find out more details at champagnerotary.info.
Next week on an all-new Law & Order.
Order! We convene here for case 217, Spring Green versus Weeds. Spring Green, the floor is yours.
The weeds are infectious. The weeds steal the beauty from your lawn. We offer personalized lawn care, a mid-season checkup, and a simple and transparent process. Just click on to spring-green.com for a quote.
Okay, Spring Green wins. Weeds, you're out.
That's spring-green.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Florida, Champaign, and vicinity. Hopefully you made it through A-OK. And that barrage of severe weather, including large hail, damaging wind, and even a couple of twisters noted. Yeah, we were in that slight risk area as expected. Otherwise, it's a blustery, chilly, almost late winter, early spring feel currently. And later on today, temperatures holding in the upper 50s with some patchy fog around, giving way to a couple of rain showers at times as the day wears on. That northwest west wind 15 to 25 miles per hour through tonight. About with a shower threat this evening, still at 47. Tomorrow, breezy, cool, a shower in spots in the morning, maybe a sprinkle in the afternoon, the high near 60 on a northwest wind. Clouds break late tomorrow night, low down to 43. Some patchy fog early Friday, partly cloudy, not bad, 67. Shower chances back in late Saturday, then more widespread rains for Sunday and the holiday on Monday, including over the Brickyard. Highs of about 67 for the day Saturday, mid-60s Sunday and Monday, back to the upper 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. First TVJ Broadcasting, I'm Beetlejuice, Greg Solgay.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
I think I want to play the Marco Rubio and Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen. Anyway, it was you don't hear that very often, the way they went at each other. In fact, it was really the senator going for 7 straight minutes, and then his time was up. And the last thing he said is, "I regret voting for you for Secretary of State." And then Marco Rubio said, "May I respond, Chairman?" And they said yes, and then as soon as he starts talking, the senator starts interrupting him incessantly. It's just like, okay, you had your time. Now he gets to finish. So here's Secretary Rubio testifying on State Department budget request. And of course, it gets into when the Democrats get to the Republicans and the secretaries, they go at it.
The Supreme Court, in a 9-0 decision, instructed you to facilitate the return to the United States of Abrego Garcia, who the administration admitted was wrongfully deported to El Salvador.
And that's the guy that he had a margarita with, the senator, the Maryland man.
He flouted judicial orders. When asked whether you have been in touch with El Salvador to return Abrego Garcia, you boasted, quote, "I would never tell you that. And you know who else I would never tell? A judge." Clearly, you don't care about the Fifth Amendment right to due process, and you don't care about the First Amendment either, since you've been very busy snatching students off of college campuses.
Their
right to free speech.
College campuses.
You dredged up a relic from the McCarthy era to claim that student protesters posed a threat to the foreign policy of the United States. Give me a break, Mr. Secretary. You know as well as I do this isn't about national security. It's about punishing free speech. And you know that in America, the government doesn't get to use its power to punish speech it doesn't like.
They do when they get a green card or they're there as a guest. They do if you're an illegal. You don't get the same rights, bud.
Every time I find one of these lunatics, I take away their visa, unquote. Let's look at one of those lunatics, Mr. Secretary, Ms. Ozturk. Her crime was co-authoring an op-ed in her college paper critical of Tufts University's response to the war in Gaza. Your own department found 0 links to terrorism, no anti-Semitic statements, but you still yanked her visa and shipped her off to detention in Louisiana. And the list goes on. I have to tell you directly and personally that I regret voting for you for Secretary of State. I yield back.
All right, here you go.
May I respond?
Yeah.
You may sit.
Well, first of all, your regret for voting for me confirms I'm doing a good job, based on what I know.
Well, that's just a flippant statement, Mr. Secretary.
Flippant statement,
Mr. Chairman.
You may.
I didn't ask
Senator,
questions.
please let the Secretary have
I'd be
the floor.
happy to, but then I can respond to his
Your time's up, Senator, and willfully used, I might add.
Willfully
Your
used.
remarks do not represent the view of this committee.
Well, Mr.
Secretary, please.
Well, I can't respond to everything he said because much of these are untrue, but I'll go through a few. First of all, I'm actually very proud of the work we've done with USAID. For example, I don't regret cutting $10 million for male circumcisions in Mozambique. I don't know how that makes us stronger and more prosperous as a nation. I don't regret psychosocial support services.
I raised
USAID.
Sudan, Mr. Secretary.
Can I respond, Mr. Chairman, or do I?
Senator, I'd ask you to suspend. You had 7 straight minutes of
I chose to
railing on-
use my time that way, Mr. Chairman. That's my right to
Please
use my
suspend
time that way.
Secretary Rubio.
Well, I can go on. I mean, there's other things here. We spent $227,000 for Big Cat's YouTube channel from USAID. We spent $14 million for social cohesion in Mali, whatever the hell that means. So I can go on and on. I got the list here, and there's more. I didn't even bring the whole list. In the case of El Salvador, absolutely. Absolutely. We deported gang members, including the one you had a margarita with. And that guy is a human trafficker, and that guy is a gangbanger, and the evidence is going to be clear. In the days to come, you're going to see who you went to defend.
Senator,
I'm sorry,
please,
Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Rubio has the floor.
Mr. Chairman, he can't make unsubstantiated comments
Senator,
like that.
Secretary Rubio has the floor. You've had
Secretary
your time.
Rubio should take that testimony to the federal court of the
Senator,
United States because
well,
he hasn't done it under oath.
Here's another point, okay? There is a division in our government between the federal branch and the judicial branch. No judge in the judicial branch cannot tell me or the president how to conduct foreign policy. No judge can tell me how I have to outreach to a foreign partner or what I need to say to them. And if I do reach to that foreign partner and talk to them, I have under no obligation to share that with the judiciary branch. Just like a judge cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister of Russia, they cannot order me to negotiate with a foreign minister or the president of El Salvador. And if I did negotiate with them, which we have responded to them, and we've told them we've had communications with the president of El Salvador, I am under no obligation under our division of powers in this country and to share with the judicial branch how I conducted diplomacy of the United States. It would actually be counterproductive. If I started sharing with courts, or frankly, with the media, my conversations with foreign leaders and all of their details, no foreign leader would talk to me again, and we would break trust with them. So I have complied with every court order. What I won't comply with is an order to disclose what I'm saying and what we're talking about with a foreign leader, because then they won't talk to me. Diplomacy doesn't work that way. About the student visas, let me say this. I don't deport anybody, and I don't snatch anybody. The State Department does not have officers in the street snatching everybody. What I do is revoke visas, and it's very simple. A visa is not a right. It is a privilege. People apply for student visas to come into the United States and study. And if you tell me that you're coming to the United States to lead campus crusades, to take over libraries and try to burn down buildings and acts of violence, we're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what Ms. Ozturk did?
We're not going to give you a visa.
Is that what she did? Come on, Mr. Secretary.
And every single one of these cases, the factors are different.
Senator,
the bottom line is if you're coming here to stir up trouble
and
on
another normal day on Capitol Hill. It's Marco Rubio and Senator Chris Van Hollen who called the gangbanger Maryland man. And they found out that he was in a car with 9 women, 5 states away with no luggage, trafficking. And then they found out he hit his wife, beat his wife a couple of times. Anyway, it's 8:41. 217-359-2255. You want to always jump on the Fisher National Bank text line. You're welcome to do so. Happy to welcome your text in. Also, we do have a Stever. It is from Lands Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Underground, and I'm offering service for 1 year checkups. It's kind of like changing your oil. You need to filter change. You need to kind of check your furnace, and you need to kind of check your air conditioner, and you kind of need to check your sump pump, your water heaters, and your faucets, dripping, all that stuff. Anyway, they can do it all, and then they'll take a picture as part of the service of all your underground piping, make sure there's no tree roots or problem to look for in the future and stuff like that. So I'm offering this for 12 months. The top package is the Orange Comfort Club from Lance, and I'm giving that away today. If you want me to pay for that service, kind of check up stuff, and then if there's problems and you want to use Lance, you get a discount on stuff. So just text in LANZ, as in Troy, Lands, LANZ, 217-359-2255. Text Lands if you're interested in this $500 gift I'm giving away, my friends. All right, 8:42.
I was born in Louisiana.
July of 1936, the world welcomed
George Buddy Guy.
Buddy Guy, that is.
Now, after live performances spanning generations, the legend says goodbye. Buddy Guy, the Damn Right Encore. June 24th, the Virginia Theater. Special guest, Taj Farrant. Tickets on sale now at thevirginia.org. From the Damn Right Farewell Tour comes the Damn Right Encore. Buddy Guy, live.
Hey, could you tell me what aisle your car batteries are in?
Sure, I'll go grab one for you. Here's your battery. It might be expired, but oh well. Also, the brand isn't that great, but it should work for at least a year or two, maybe. Anyways, I went ahead and charged you for it, and here's the battery. Okay, have a great day.
What just happened?
Sometimes good things are hard to find, but they're worth the wait. Make the trip out to Interstate All Battery Center at 2504 North Madison Avenue and get all of your battery needs taken care of by the trusted professionals. Give them a call today at 355-4855.
Racing, racing, racing! Farmer City Raceway is your local award-winning dirt track with exciting Friday night lights illuminating the late models and modifieds going for the checkered flag for the win. Make arrangements to get in on the camping with great price points for pit passes and young fans, as well as veterans. Friday nights, the hot laps start at 6:30, then qualifying and racing action. Don't miss out on the fun at Farmer City Raceway. For details, visit farmercityracing.com. You'll buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
All right, the Fighting Illini baseball team, Danny Harleb's baseball team, upset Michigan on a home run in the 10th inning to beat Michigan 6-5. How about that? High fives all around. Remember, they won this tournament last year. You get hot, you never know. Now we play UCLA at 10 this morning. UCLA is like one of the top teams in the Big Ten now. Since joining the conference, they're very good. They came to Champaign and swept us. Wouldn't that be amazing if we accidentally beat them today? Let's go. Come on, man. Do it again. St. Louis Cardinals lost to the best team in baseball. Yeah, the Detroit Tigers have the best record in baseball. Tigers, Motor City Kitties, got a run in the 9th to beat the Cardinals.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney. The Cardinals dropped a one-run game to the Tigers, 5-4. But, Ricky, they were down 4-0 in the early innings.
And they were able to get to Tarek Skubal, which no one can get to. He's the game's best pitcher. The lefty was a Cy Young Award winner last year. The Cardinals got some runs off of him. Nolan Arenado with a 2-run home run. Arenado had 3 really good at-bats in the game. That's promising. And the Cardinals battled back again. That's promising. Unfortunately, Kyle Leahy gave up a run late. As good as he is, he showed he's human, and the Cardinals drop a 5-4 game.
On a relief of Eric Fetty, Steven Matz kept the Cardinals in the game.
Matz was terrific. Fetty wasn't great, but he gave the Cardinals a chance, but Matz was really good.
The Cardinals go for the series win today behind Andre Palante. We're on the air at 11:20 this morning. At 12:05, Ricky has the lineups, and I'll bring you the first pitch around 12:15.
We have early baseball today, both on ESPN 93.5 and on US 105.9, where the Cubbies beat Marlins last night. Miami Marlins 14-1. They got 8 runs in the 6th and another 4 or 5 in the 9th. Pulled away after a 1-1 through 5 kind of a game. It was a pretty good game. Then they exploded. Cubbies play the Marlins one more time here this afternoon, heard on US 105.9. Okay, that'll be it for Sports 846. We got colder weather. Can't say cold, cooler. Highs for the next while are going to be in the 60s. Even through Memorial Day, a possibility of the Indy 500 having a few raindrops. They might have to deal a little bit with that. All right, we'll check Greg's forecast coming up, 846. I am Stevie J, 217-359-2255. You want to jump on the text line from Fisher National Bank.
Hark, there be a barge of overseas appliances, overpriced tariff-laden goods. Unload quick! We don't have any other choice but to pay the high prices.
Sure we do.
Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, it be Paul Rican from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. What speak ye about saving money?
At Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, you don't need to worry about overpriced tariff goods. We are stocked with pre-tariff inventory.
You don't need me overpriced appliances from overseas?
Nope, we're good. We even have Speed Queen in stock made made right here in the good old Midwest.
You want none of it?
We have 2 warehouses full of pre-tariff inventory and a service department to repair your existing appliance if you want to save even more money instead of buying new.
Well, I'll be. Can I interest ye in me lobster bisque?
Well, it is 9 a.m.
You got to try me lobster bisque.
Okay, all right, I'll get some to go. Take credit card?
With a 5% service charge and sign here for a minimum 30% tip.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
What is most important in your life? This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. If you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Champaign Rotary's Dean Cavey on the May 30th Action Auction at the iHotel.
So we have partnered with Books from Breck to supply books to a number of organizations in the local community. And we're hoping by doing that, it will just help to give a push to the educational opportunities of some of our disadvantaged youth in the Champaign-Urbana area.
Get ready for an unforgettable evening of giving, community, and hope. Tickets available at champaignrotary.info.
Are you or a loved one 65 and older and need to schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit? An annual Medicare wellness visit allows you and your healthcare provider to establish a personalized prevention plan for your healthcare. Call your Christie Clinic primary care provider to learn more and schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit. Stay well with Christie Clinic.
Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
Well, tell me, Tim Onstad, how is it going at Gale Frericks Trucking?
Oh, we're busy. We're going gangbusters. We've got a new driver going through orientation. That leaves us one spot left for somebody that wants to get in on the action and make some money, be home, get some quality time. It's a great opportunity.
And the type of person you like hiring?
Honesty, integrity, like everybody else is looking for. That guy that wants to have a family life, but be able to make some good money and do the right things.
Are you looking for experienced drivers? And if they have a military background and things like that, that's always an asset.
We do need some experience. Of course, we like getting the guys 15 years in that know what they're doing, maybe have been treated bad by other companies and need a place looking for a home. If somebody has the basics, maybe a year and a half, has a military background, I'll count that as some experience because they're used to following the process. Well, you can always email me at timo@gftlog.com.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
Sarah Champagne's Ben Quattrone on keeping his employees.
It's got to be the place to work. We have to pay the best. We have to treat people the best. Some of the guys wanted to order pizza the other day. Well, we bought 30 Papa Del's pizzas. BMW had the best month they've ever had. They said, can we have a cookout? Saturday, I cooked like 50 ribeye steaks. And they were expecting like cheeseburgers, burgers and hot dogs and stuff. Like, if I'm eating steak, you're eating steak. We both eat steak, we both eat hamburger.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign, and vicinity. Rough one yesterday, but it pretty much was expected in that slight risk area. But boy, those storms were ferocious in some areas. 1 to 2 inch diameter hail, high wind, and not to mention a number of funnel clouds and tornadic activity reaching the ground in a couple of areas. In any event, much quieter today, but a cold feel with that west-northwesterly wind. Temperatures hold upper 50s to around 60 degrees with a couple of rain showers as the day wears on. For tonight, a shower this evening, breezy, cooler down to 47 to tomorrow. Clouds stick around. Maybe a rain shower in the morning and a sprinkle for the afternoon at highs around 60. Late night fog tomorrow night in spots with a low down to 43. Patchy fog early Friday, but a dry, fairly comfortable day. Partly cloudy, 67. Upper 60s on Saturday. Saturday night, Sunday, Monday. More widespread shower activity. Rains could be heavy just south of Champaign. Weekend high Sunday, Monday in the middle 60s. Back up near 70 and some much needed dry weather short term for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Transport to Margaritaville, Cardinals style, on Friday, May 23rd, when the Cardinals host the Diamondbacks. With the purchase of a special themed ticket, fans will receive a Margaritaville-inspired all-over-print Cardinals shirt. Come early for a pregame concert by the Boat Drunks. A portion of each ticket sold will be donated to Jimmy Buffett's charity, Singing for Change. That's Margaritaville night, Friday, May 23rd. For tickets or more information, visit cardinals.com/theme.
This is Miles Michaelis, St. Louis Cardinals, for the Lou.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. There's no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help you improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
All right, we are out of time, my friends. We shall return, God willing, tomorrow morning for another program. John Decker is Thursdays, Gray Television's White House correspondent. Pretty cool to get to talk to Ed Martin inside this whole administration as the now Deputy Assistant Attorney General and pardon lawyer and weaponization of our federal government against the people. That's kind of where he's working. Tomorrow, John Decker, who goes to the White House darn near every day, rides on Air Force One kind of regularly. It's always fun to talk to him tomorrow at 7:30 on Thursdays. Okay, that's it. We'll be back tomorrow again. Thank you for listening. Early Cardinal baseball today here on ESPN 93.5. I am Stevie J. Have a great, I know what day it is. Have a great Wednesday.
At Christie Clinic, our commitment is for the care of our community. That commitment includes keeping care local, where our patients, their families, our clinics, and their hospital of choice are located. Our providers live and work here. It's their passion to care for their families and neighbors. Thank you for choosing Christie Clinic, your hometown provider. When you do, you support the health and well-being of your community.
Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people.
Your lawn is an important investment. Let Spring Green take care of that lawn. Your local, family-owned and operated Spring Green has been committed to beautifying your neighborhood through quality, service, and professionalism. Spring Green's full program customers are backed by their guarantee of satisfaction. Smart Money Magazine reports that consumers value a home with a well-maintained lawn and landscape up to 11.3% higher than the base price. Why don't you call Spring Green today, 359-2111, or visit them at spring-green.com.
Time is running out to get your tickets to the Action Auction supporting literacy in our community with books from Breck as we honor Josh and Hope Whitman at the Champaign Rotaries event coming May 30th at the iHotel. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. Amazing trip experiences and unique opportunities for the Illini fan to bid on. Go to our website now and find out more details at champaignrotary.info.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Hey, where are you headed?
To Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola.
What do they have there?
What don't they have there? Living room furniture, benches, chests, love seats, sectionals, tables, bedroom sets, hutches, nightstands, end tables, cabinets, mirrors, stools, clocks, lamps, pillows, rugs, desks, media consoles, patio furniture, Tempur-Pedic mattresses, and more.
So, everything.
Yeah, probably could have just said that.
Kelsey Furniture, quality for less.
Attention drivers. When it comes to your car, trust matters. That's why savvy drivers choose PDR Automotive for top-notch service and unbeatable quality. From routine maintenance to complex repairs, their team of expert technicians has the skill and experience to keep your vehicle running smoothly. At PDR Automotive, customer satisfaction is their priority, and they won't rest until your car is back on the road performing at its best.